Drac just turns and stares at the human.
Verstadt will take the lead and just start walking.
I'm sure this can't backfire. Great.
Okay. Just he's waiting for divine intervention to happen. That's the plan.
All right, Verstadt, do you want to go any particular direction?
I can't tell directions, so I'm just going straight.
Great.
I'm
All right.
hoping there's something that happens.
Don't worry, I know how to determine what direction you're going, so it's not bad. You are going that way. Okay.
He can't, put it this way, he can't be walking west. He has to be walking vaguely east.
And before y'all end up back in Hagerdorf in like 5 minutes.
That's right. And then go, well, this one's clearly not a child of Raya.
All right, you head into the forest. It quickly gets to the point where you cannot easily, unless trying very, very hard, see the sky as the forest gets thicker and you go deeper and deeper in. But it doesn't feel oppressive or like super spooky unless you're just naturally afraid of being in the wilds, which is totally understandable because I get spooked easily in natural wilds. So if you've never been to the wilds, it's probably spooky, wrist. But as you walk through it, Verstadt, nothing seems to happen.
Okay, Verstadt will say, so she made it sound like I'd be able to find this place, but I have no idea where I'm going, I'll be honest.
Just start praying.
Hand him the bowl. Perhaps that will be something.
Drac will hand him the bowl very ceremoniously.
I take the bowl, and that fills up my encumbrance, so I'm, filling it with both hands, I guess.
Holding it, not filling
Holding
it.
it, sorry.
They will not accept your hands.
Drac does not feel like cutting them off anyways.
All right, do you want to do anything with the bowl? That's not a leading question. I should note. Sounds like a leading
Verstadt
question.
will look at the rest of the party and go, and we try again?
You could try, say, calling out to Raya. Maybe she'll answer. I don't know. Is this something we should have asked the townspeople about? No, it's not. But I have no clue how you find a pond. Varv, do you know how you find ponds in forests?
I will blink and say you. I actually honestly don't know how I would respond to that. I don't even know an answer for that, to be honest.
Yeah, being from the Pine Crags, no. I mean, if you needed to find a water source, you could rely on speaking with the forest spirits, or just knowing the layout of the Pine Crags, or having like very high terrain to allow you to see it, because those parts of the forest are like vaguely visible from the places you grew up in. But you're not in a forest like this. Pfft.
I will say, this forest does not speak to me like the forest from which I hail from. So no.
Gods above the trees speak to you? I don't want to go wherever you are from.
So
But it's
Verstadt,
always worth a try. Risk will walk up to a tree, knock on it, and say, so where's this Raya pond? Do you speak to halflings and let them know the way so they can get home to some grub?
Roll a prey check.
so Verstadt
I wait
will,
3 seconds
sorry.
before turning back to Verstadt. I am all out of ideas.
Verstadt will sort of grit his teeth a bit and say, "Oh, Raya, your child calls out to you. Please lead us to your pond."
So enthusiastic.
Oh no, I'm sure she'll be very impressed by his sincerity.
I'm a Sigmarite dwarf.
Do humans not worship all their gods? Or do you only pick and choose?
Some of us pick and choose.
Idiots, the lot of ye! Drac seems actually offended at this notion.
So after calling out to Raya, I will begin wandering forward again.
All right. Do you want to like try anything other than just walking and hoping? Like
Roll a prey check.
there are checks you could take. You could try and
what,
do some
what sort of
observations.
checks can I take to try and find water?
To try and find water?
Get rid of those sticks with the the
What,
parting
a
bit.
dowsing rod?
We're trying to find a specific pond, not just any pond. I'm fairly certain Frida can tell the difference.
Okay, actually I have an idea. Are there any animals around, like a squirrel or a bird?
You hear life around you, yeah.
Can I get within a yard of like a bird?
Okay. Roll a stealth check. No. That bird, how do the kids call it these days? That bird yeets the hell out of there.
God damn it.
Dwarf is going to try and pray to the human goddess to apologize for the idiocy and lack of piety among her children. He's not doing this to ask for help or anything. He's just doing it out of principle.
Interesting strategy, but okay.
You want me to roll a pray check, or do you just...
Only if you are legitimately praying and hoping for some kind of response.
Oh no, he's just doing it because he's genuinely offended by Verstadt's lack of piety and, like, you know, respect for all of his ancestors.
If you want to do that, that's fine, but that would not be a pray check now.
Yeah, I know. Drac worships every ancestor god it is.
GM's not holding y'all's hand on this one. You got to figure it out.
That will say, does anyone have any ideas to find water? If I could get close to a bird or something like that, I think I could do it, but I'm not very stealthy.
How would a bird help?
I'm tempted to have Drac pray for real and then use resilience to make it work just for the hilarity.
Just because you get a nat 1 on something does not necessarily mean you will succeed.
This is true, but if it did work, it would be absolutely hilarious.
So I would say to Wrist, if I could get a hold of some sort of creature that lives in this forest, like a bird, I could use magic on it, and we could maybe communicate just a little bit, and it could lead us to the water source.
With what?
Okay, how are you?
Don't ask this. Just need an animal.
Oh, he does
Alright,
have animal friend.
Sotek, is there an easily climbable tree?
Yeah,
Is
tons.
something overgrown. Alright, I mean very easily climbable.
Yes.
It's something that it is unlikely to fall off while you are attempting to climb high into it.
If you are not trained in climb, you will need to
I
check
got
for
5
it.
advances in climb.
Then you won't even need to check. It's so easy to climb.
Alright, I'm gonna go up and look for birds and things, or even just
Alright.
rivers, streams, anything.
You manage to spy out a small squirrel-like critter. Take a stealth check if you would like to approach it.
Come here, little squirrely. Come to Uncle Wrist. Nothing bad's gonna happen.
Oh.
Oh! Well, aren't you clever? Hold on, I gotta roll a willpower check then. Alright, probably, due to
I
your...
have food in my hand.
With your small, friendly nature, your soft voice, and the food in your hand, the squirrel happily approaches and willingly crawls into your hand to begin munching on whatever it is you've pro-offered.
I make sure I keep giving it parts of my ration that I have.
Alright, I will approach Wrist, and I will cast Animal Friend on the squirrel.
Alright, and that's out of your grimoire, right?
Yes, but it has a casting value of 0.
Okay.
Alright, stuff's about to get real if we don't find this. I have no more food.
So I will say to this squirrel, where do you drink? Where do you fill up when you're thirsty? And I will try and communicate to lead us to where it drinks.
Remember, we're looking for a specific pond.
Anything's better at this point.
Alright. The squirrel The squirrel looks at you for a long minute as you unleash the winds of magic upon it, and it makes some chittering noises before it hops out of the halfling's hand, and slowly, so that y'all can keep up with it, begins making its way into a direction.
Verstadt follows.
I will look at Drac and Riss and say, well, I have never followed a squirrel. This will be a first.
Somehow I doubt that with LG.
It's true.
All right, are you all following? Are you all putting your
from the Grey Mountain Dwarves of a war against a squirrel?
Are you all willingly following this squirrel?
Yes.
Yeah, we're on a wild
follow
squirrel
the
chase.
chaos squirrel.
All right. 2 hours pass as you follow this squirrel who he can move quick in short bursts, not great at long distance, but he manages to lead you for a little while. And after 2 hours, just as the sun is slowly but surely heading towards dusk, you arrive at a nice, cool, relaxing, bubbling river stream.
I will say thank you, Mr. Squirrel.
It was over half an hour ago. So.
I'm not exactly sure this is what we're looking for, guys.
The squirrel takes off. He is gone.
So, what does Raya like? Because this is a pun to her, right? That we're looking for.
I believe so, yes. Sotek, what is Raya like? I'm not too familiar.
Roll me a lore Reichland check because you are not like expressly one of her worshippers.
Sure.
Yeah, okay. So off the top of your head, you're not terribly familiar with Raya. Some things that you're kind of able to rattle off are that she's basically the goddess of. She's an old god, one of the oldest of the Empire's pantheon. As far as you know, she's been around as long as anything's been around. But she is a goddess of summer, fertility. You know that she is heavily worshipped in more rural communities by like farmers or midwives, herbalists, people that need to work a lot with plants or things that have like a cycle of life to it. She has a lot of connection with crops, but anything more than that, you kind of struggle to recall.
Sure. I convey that to Wrist.
So what do you think a little sacred ground would look like to her?
It would probably be very pretty.
I examined my surroundings. This does not look that pretty, does it?
It's pretty basic.
I think we're looking for something a little more, a little more dramatic.
Would you like to examine anything? Try anything?
What time is it?
You probably have at most an hour before it's going to start getting dark.
Okay. Yeah, I'll go over to the water and examine it.
The water?
Yeah.
All right, it looks like a normal stream.
Would such a place be, say, magical, in a way that you could figure out?
Do we see anything with second sight? Or do I smell anything?
No.
Risked. I'm not getting anything from here. It looks like a stream.
Well, she said there was a path, right? I don't remember ever seeing a path walking along.
She also said I'd be able to guide you, and look how well that's turned out.
Well, she said you should be able to find it.
So, Verf, Drac, what do you vote we do?
Drac is in the middle of complaining to the elf
Yeah.
about your lack of pie.
The dwarf seems concentrated.
I look around.
The dwarf seems genuinely offended. Is what he seems like.
Concentrated on his offendedness, yes.
I will look around and say, I don't know this forest, and I don't know your god. So, I don't have any ideas.
Alright, well, if no one has any ideas, let's look for some food, because I'm hungry, and it's getting late, and we won't get food until we get back, and that will be a while. I'm doing outdoor survival to find food.
Y'all are starting to get hungry.
Drac pulls out a ration and starts eating.
Great, Drak's good.
Verstadt will fill up his water skin at the river
Okay.
stream.
You want to assist me, Ben?
I can't assist, but
Okay.
if you are better at it, then you would make the check.
What's yours?
32.
No.
It's average. I should know. This is not a hard forest to forage in.
So that would be a 0.
Pass.
Yeah, that would literally be a exact pass. You managed to scrounge together like a bunch of edible plants. They're not very known well to you, but you feel confident based on your knowledge of woods and nature that they should be edible enough to get y'all through at least until you return. So long as you're not out here for like another day.
I will bring these back to Wrist and say, can you make anything with all of it? Something for all of us, I will point.
Do we want to start a fire and get things... This is just basically berries and nuts.
It's trail mix. Get over it.
Alright, I'm gonna trade cook to make trail mix.
That is not what I meant.
I gather them in my 2 hands, shake them about, and open them up and say, ta-da.
Someone's got to try something. This place ain't going to fall out of the fucking sky.
Drac.
Y'all can give up on it and go back if you want.
Why don't you actually make an honest effort to pray?
Here,
versus-
Ungi, I will pray with you.
No,
No.
that might offend her.
I didn't say I would be praying to her.
Very well. Give me the bowl.
Sit at the stream, perhaps put water in it. I don't know your rituals and rites, but become inventive, or I'm going to head back.
Oh,
So I will take the bowl. I will go over to the stream, fill it up a bit. Get
Okay.
into a cross-legged position on the ground,
Okay.
and I will begin to pray to Raya.
Okay.
Drac will meanwhile pray to the ancestor gods that the humans develop a proper sense of piety.
Vallejo would probably be the best choice. All right. Roll a pray check. Ben, not Ben. Whoever. Aztec.
Roll the build up of Aztec. Ben, roll up.
Ben, pray to Esmeralda.
I'm about to run out of food. That's very appropriate.
Verstadt, you sit for a good time, and you think about what you can think of Raya, and you tell me what you pray.
Oh, Raya,
Oh my god.
I am
that was a waste of a
sorry
nine.
for being.
Sorry, go ahead.
I am sorry for being sarcastic with my prayer last time. Forgive me. I come to you in humbleness, seeking the guidance of a mother, a child's guidance. Please, will you help us?
Okay. You sit for a bit, you intone your prayer, and you feel from the rain earlier this very irritating sensation as a drop of water runs down your face, and it's very ticklish and irritating. And as you look down, you see it as it falls off your chin and it lands in the bowl. And at the bottom of the bowl, as it reverberates, you see your attention is really drawn to this deeply ingrained carved symbol of a spiral.
Okay.
That's all you get.
That's all I get.
That's all you get.
I was gonna, by the way, before I rolled the check, I was gonna joke that if I rolled well enough, Aztec should gain the pray skill as trip, but then I actually rolled well.
Cool theory, but no.
Come on,
Verstatt
man.
will,
I want a divine intervention, some piety into this boy.
Well, unfortunately, the dwarf gods don't work that way.
I know.
Verstatt will push off the ground and say, I'm not getting anywhere. The most I got was that this bowl has a pretty spiral.
Track will look at the spiral. Track will look at the surroundings. Does anything bring to mind the spiral and what he is surrounded by?
Roll a perception check. Nah.
I will reroll.
Don't do that. I'll try mine first.
Verv, you do get your acute senses for eyesight.
Okay. So I pass.
With what?
Barely.
Just +1, or do you get another one for acute senses?
Another one.
Okay. 2's good enough. All right, Verv, you look around with Drac after seeing this, hearing him talk about it. And as you look around, you look further up the stream, a little past, it kind of leads off to the left, but you look past where it divides off to, and you notice that the tree there, as you look up, has a spiral mark carved into it about 10 feet off the ground.
How am I better at this than a human? I will shake my head, kind of glare at Verstatt, and lead and walk towards said tree.
Verstatt will be a little embarrassed and fall behind.
Poor Verstatt. He didn't sign up for
Drac,
this.
Drac will continue his conversation, or continue his rant to Verv about Verstatt's lack of piety and how he needs to have some good old fashioned respect for his ancestors and deities put into him.
I like how Verstatt is like in a basically blameless scenario, but it's still driving the dwarf closer to the elf just out of his sheer anger.
Pretty much.
Well, I mean, if this is a path and that's the sign, shouldn't we have been seeing a bunch of those the whole way over here?
Well, someone wasn't exactly looking for them, was he? And Drac will glare at Verstatt.
Verv,
sorry.
you arrive at the
Fre-
tree.
Freya didn't exactly say, "Oh, look out for spirals."
Frida.
Frida.
Call her Freya to
Okay.
your face and you're going to have a bad time.
So at the tree, are there any, like, animal, path or anything like that nearby?
Roll a perception check? No, roll a tracking check.
Any bonuses?
No.
Then no.
Nope. Do you want to look around?
Drac will look around.
All right.
The other thing I was going to do is look further up the stream, perhaps.
You could roll another perception checks. If you want, you could try and be specific about what you're looking at, and it might give you a bonus, might give you a negative.
Well, I'm looking for stuff like this, so like a tree with a marking, a stone with a marking.
Uh-huh.
But I'm also going to basically look up the stream because perhaps this place is the source.
Okay, up the stream. Okay, roll it. You don't see anything. You
Drac
see
will-
trees and streams.
Drac will look downstream.
You don't see
Or
anything
east.
either.
Is this stream curved in any fashion?
Yes.
Can I tell if the curve is sharper upstream or downstream? Is that something I can discern?
No.
What if, and I know this is a crazy idea, what if the stream is a big spiral coming out from the pond or to it?
I nod and say,
Cool
I had
theory.
thought that,
Cool
The-
theory. Not correct, but cool theory.
or I had an inclination that Verstadt's holy site is possibly the source of the.
Anyone want to try anything else? And no,
we'll start-
you can just roll a perception check and hope you roll high. But if you are specific, I will apply negative or positive modifiers depending on what you're looking for or looking at.
Drac will start walking upstream to see if it starts bending inward or outward.
Okay,
Well, we came from a direction, correct?
correct.
Yes. So, how hard is it to go across this stream?
Not very. It's very narrow.
All right,
When I
go
say
across-
stream, I mean we're talking like. It would be better. It would be.
Upstream.
It would be more generous to measure in inches, not feet.
Oh, okay. I'm gonna cross it and walk into the woods directly through it to see if I come across the stream again, looped back.
You do not.
Okay, I will head back and inform them that either this is the biggest spiral in existence, or this is not a spiral.
You have 1 hour till dark.
Drac will walk upstream to see how it continues to.
It curves a little bit in, then a little bit out, and then it kind of straightaways up an incline.
Drac will continue walking up the incline to see if it comes from a pond.
That may take a while. Are you sure you want to go that way?
Drac, where are you going? Do you think you have an idea?
To see if this comes from a pond.
Verstadt will follow.
Could it come from, say, a pond way up in the mountains?
Likely.
Oh, Jesus Christ.
Sotek, I don't know if this will count because I got lore local Hegerdorf, but there's lots of scouts and other people who are out and about this area looking for trees, and I've talked with people while serving food. Could I make a lore local check to figure out if any of them have noticed strange spiral things carved onto stuff?
Yes.
I'm gonna re-roll that.
Oh, thank the gods. Alright, Wrist. Talking to the lumberjacks especially, many of them have occasionally made notes about how whenever they're chopping down especially old or large trees, one of the most surprising features that you'll find is that bizarrely high up on the tree, especially higher than anyone would think to look, on many of these trees you could find spirals, but nobody's sure why.
I will go to the elf. Verv, how high up were you looking for spirals? Because I heard some of the lumberjacks say you can find some carvings and stuff in trees really high up, higher than you'd normally look. Kind of
Well-
like maybe they were carved a long, long time ago and the tree grew up. Perhaps if there's more trees with spirals, then that would mean that there's some really high up and we could follow them to wherever this place is.
Thank
How
you!
high is the spiral that I first spotted?
That one was only about 10 feet up, but that's still much higher than people should be able to reach normally.
Okay. So I will nod and I will begin scanning the taller portions
Alright,
of the forest.
you look around, and much to your pleasant surprise, it is very easy for you to spot a large, ancient white tree within eyesight that has another spiral carved into it about 100 yards away from you, but this one's about 25 feet up.
I will head I will nod and say thank you.
Oh, you're
And
welcome. I like being helpful.
I
So
will
far, contrary to what
walk
Frida
forward.
said, it was the elf, the dwarf, the halfling that figured this place out.
It was a group effort.
Drax, Verstadt, I think we found a path.
Good.
I will
Jack,
head
turn
towards
around and
that.
follow.
All right, you head to that tree, and what will you do then?
Same thing.
Great.
Higher and higher.
Great. You move to the next tree. You look around. Sure enough, you spy another just at the edge of your vision, and you continue to follow them. But as you follow them deeper and deeper into the forest, and you get thoroughly lost, but still able to follow these markers, you eventually arrive somewhere. You eventually reach a part of the forest where it suddenly, very abruptly, and bizarrely without warning, like you could have sworn you should have been able to notice it beforehand, you find yourselves all standing on very ancient carved stone.
I take an architecture check.
After I get your characters.
Okay. Because I want to roll this at some point. I'm distracted by all the undergrowth. I don't see the stone.
Well, I mean, you are trained in it, so that's enough for you to be able to... Because whenever you're trained in something, it's assumed you have, like, good competency in it.
Okay.
If you want to know anything more specific than what I'm about to tell you, you would need to roll. But upon arriving... y'all need to be a little smaller.
So, yeah, we are kind of massive.
Why can I not change your size? Huh, that's strange. I cannot change your size nor your facing.
I can change my facing.
No, I'm saying I can't. 1 second, let me reboot. Roll 20.
Yeah, it's been funky lately. I've been having my connection interrupted a couple times.
There we go. So the things that catch your attention, Dwarf, this is definitely super old stone. Stop. There we go. This is definitely very, very old stone that was carved from the natural rock itself. Nobody moved stone to build this. But the thing that kind of surprises you about the steps are how wide they are. Like, even for a human, the steps are, like, unpleasantly large. Like, you wouldn't be able to casually walk down these steps. But whatever this place is, it is old. And all of you are drawn to the center, where there is a hole in the ground that has a beautiful, quiet, perfect pool.
Alright, no one but the Umgi touch anything. Umgi, fill the bowl, and let's get out of here.
I need to roll something real quick. It is dark, by the way.
Okay.
Who was it that had Sixth Sense?
I do.
Both the wizards.
No, just me.
No, just her.
I need to check something real quick.
Sixth sense? Oh yeah, just for. I thought you said it meant second sight. My bad.
It's all good.
Sixth Sense. I need to double check exactly what it's capable of telling you.
Oh, out of character. It looks like we're about to get into a fight, boys.
It's a possibility. Intuition.
What's called metagaming. Don't do this unless you're doing it as a joke.